where you're in the camera and I'm on the screen. I'm your host, Ep.5. Welcome to the show. If you were easily offended, there's the door. Get the fuck out. And this is 3 Minute Tuesday, this show, the series, where we take reviews and things that I want to talk about and condense my thoughts down into 3-minute, or try to condense them down into 3-minute chunks for your viewing and listening pleasure. Today on the chopping block, we got YouTube Cypher Volume 3, Crypt, a whole lot of other rappers. For me, the way that I usually rate ciphers in my own mind and in general is that I go off of the verses that most impact me and stick in my head and are a surprise to me. And so we're gonna talk about the 3 most memorable verses that I personally found through this cipher, and we're also gonna do an overall rating of the cipher as a whole on a scale of 1 to 13. As always, let's get into it. What am I doing? Number 3 would be Dax.
I am the communist. I'll never sliver of pity, exuding my dominance. I don't want to hear excuse your stupid accomplishments. All the shit you do to repair was weight your conscience. I don't believe in spirits. My gifts come straight from the Lord. He made my skin so damn thick I can use it to sharpen swords.
And it's no secret over the last year that I have not liked Dax as a person. I've always thought he was a very talented person when it comes to making music. I think his personal decisions, the way he chose to treat people was less than. And in general, I just don't admire people who do that. That being said, I think more so in the last several months, but more so in the last year, I've seen Dax grow very much as a person and as a musician, and it's very cool to watch that transition. And I think this is one of those verses that really shows that. He very much steps out of his comfort zone and does this very triple time flow. And yes, it's sloppy and slurred, and that's okay. He's not used to doing a flow like that. Dax tells stories with his words complexly. Yes, he does have a quicker flow than most, but not Crypt kind of speed where it's just, it's the very rapid chopping of a beat, very much concentrated triple time flow. And he does it pretty well considering he hasn't done it, and it feels good. And also Dax has some of the most memorable lines in general from the verses in this, like the fucking sword to the sharpening swords line is one of my favorite lines in any rap song in a while, and I think it's very good and a very, very fun way to talk about having that thick skin and really addressing the fact that, hey, I know a lot of people don't like me, and that's okay. Number 2 is Crypt himself. Normally, let's be honest, we all know Crypt in general is absolutely phenomenally talented at all aspects of rap. He's shown that time and time again. And I think this is very much one of those times when you're like, oh yeah, he isn't just that fast rapper guy. Crypt must have really been bothered by something somebody said, not only to diss them in a cipher, but to diss them in general, because Crypt doesn't do that anymore. For somebody to be the brunt, or multiple somebodies to be the brunt of this verse, somebody must have really, really got to him and got under his skin for him to be like, hey, fuck you. But in general, hearing Crypt slower is so much nicer. I think he very much has a skill that a lot of rappers and musicians don't have, that he can crawl over a beat and tell a story and do it really well, and he does that here, and he really does it so talented and so complexly that you forget you're listening to a diss, because you're just like, wow, just bar after bar, he's going in. My number 1, I should say, most memorable verse, and I think the most memorable verse in a long time, song-wise period, is No Life Shaq.
In the game, slow it down, coach. That's tough. Y'all know my catchphrase, so respect my name and don't you dare try to soil it, or I'll put your ass next to John Rule in the toilet.
No Life Shaq, being a fan of hip-hop, stepping into the ring and doing this skillfully, I might add, with so much passion and skill, and just like, you can just tell he enjoyed himself and he brought a show. He really put on a show, and that's very rare in anybody. It's one of those things where it's like, it's so unexpected, it's so well done, and it's cool. It's cool to see that. It's a memorable, legendary action in the game, and no one's gonna forget it anytime soon. And I'm so glad that it's a thing. I'm glad that exists. I'm glad that Shaq put together that and did that. In general, absolutely everybody on this cipher killed it. From front to back, there was not a bad performance. Everybody brought their A game. Crypt is one of those rare people who the people he works with, his features and his guests on songs, are very much brought to their full potential and bring their A game. And this is no exception. Absolutely everybody on this killed it. For me, skill-wise, bar-wise, and just in general, my number one is Mercules.
Try them blue pills on my tongue, hit a kill switch, yell shit, deal with my crime. Match the energy, ain't nobody ahead of me. I'm ahead of my enemies. Everybody a centipede. If anybody thinking they ill as me, I'ma let it be. Definitely got pen up aggression from the head to see the pen of me. It's not no friend of me, but eventually my YouTube views keep proving my legacy.
Absolutely destroyed. And I think, in general, Mercules, I found, is one of the best rappers out, period. There are very few who are better than him at this point. He is so good at what he does, and he's actually in my top 5 now. It's gotten that crazy. He's so talented, and just to see him on this, he's just like, it's just another day. It's like, Merc, chill, man, chill. They're all dead. Mercules is just good, but in general, everybody did an absolutely great job. So my overall rating for the Cypher is an 11 out of 13. Absolutely phenomenal song, front to back, and absolutely worth going and checking out. So be sure to go down in the description and check out the original. Closing thoughts. The only closing thought I have is this was amazing, and I want more. And I hope Crypt sticks with doing these like a once-a-year thing. I have a feeling at some point he's going to cut it off and say no. I know how stressful it can be to organize a bunch of people into one project. I did that with a podcast a few years back, and it's extremely difficult and very stressful, and it wears on your brain, and it's hard to keep up with the wants and keep everybody happy. And I can't imagine having to do that in a song aspect, because you not only have to keep them happy with how they sound, how they look, when it's coming out, they're ordering in it, you know what I mean? Like, there's so much added into that, not just a small thing. So massive shout out to Crypt for even being able to put this together. From somebody who's managed things like this in the past, kudos to you, because you do it and make it look easy, but I know the behind the scenes and how fucking stressful it is. So good job, Crypt. You're doing great, bro. And I hope to see more of this. I think personally, Crypt, if you ever see this, I think the YouTube Cypher, if you want to continue it. But I think in general, you yourself should have a Cypher with like 3 to 5 people with you, of artists that you just find entertaining and good for the year, and do it like once a year or once every few months or something, and really scale that down and you know, name it after yourself maybe, or put another name to it. I think it would be cool to have the Crypt Red Cypher as a shout out to where he came from. But that's just my thoughts on it. I think that would work a lot better. I think it would be a lot easier, and I think in general it sticks with what YouTube Cypher 1 was supposed to be. But also, I get the point of wanting to have these big artists on it, but I think it would be cool to have basically a spotlight on artists with a smaller Cypher, and then have the one big Cypher of people that you find truly talented, both big and small artists, and go from there. I think that would be what I would do, but obviously I'm not Crypt. Sorry for the random rant. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. With that all being said, that's going to do it for this video, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, make sure to leave a like if you want to see more stuff like this, more reviews of different things coming up on the channel soon. Be sure to subscribe, and I will see you all in the very next video of whatever I make. Ta-ta for now. Now I'm out. Oh.